Get my blankie. Get real comfy.
Oh, yeah. So, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about turning 38.
Oof.
Oof.
Just kidding. I'm already 38.
So my birthday's in 2 days. And as I was starting to think about my birthday, and we went to lunch yesterday, we had this beautiful lunch at RH Rooftop
Raleigh, yeah.
Raleigh bar thing. It's a Restoration Hardware on the bottom. And then on the top, it's this magnificent restaurant. If you haven't been, go.
Mm-hmm.
And we always do peak pit and what are you looking forward to for the next year? And so, like, every year as it gets closer to my birthday, do you start doing this? Like, you kind of start thinking about, like, what's my peak and pit? Because you know we're going to do it.
Yeah, I definitely do that. Because I know you're going to ask me. And when you first asked me the peak and pit, I was just like, I have no clue.
Yeah, because it takes time, like,
Yeah.
to really think about in my year of being 37, what is, like, so the peak best thing, pit worst thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then what are you looking forward to? And then it really got me starting to ask this question that I'm going to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
which is, do you think we're behind for being 38? Like, compared to where other people are maybe at this age and or where you thought we would be by this age?
Yeah. I think in yes and no, right? In certain areas, yes. In certain areas, no. I think in my mind, when I was younger, where'd I be at 38? I feel like 38 seemed kind of old. 38 seemed like, okay, you're going to be pretty established in what you're doing in life. I feel like us as a family is pretty established, right? So like,
What do you mean?
Like me, you, Juliet, and like having a family and like that piece, I think it feels good. It feels like, okay, at 30, I feel like that's where I would have been.
38.
Yeah, at 38, that's where
You said at 30.
No, at 38, that's where I feel like I would have been. But I think, financially, I think there's always room for me to be like, okay, I could have done this, could have done that better, or differently, and been at a different place.
I mean, I can honestly say, like, I did not at all expect to be here at 38.
Yeah.
Like, well, let me rephrase that. I expected to be a mother. I expected to be a homeowner, and I expected to be in some sort of career in a very established way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for me, I wanted to be an actress. So when I was young, I thought, at 38, I'll be a famous actress. Like, that's what I thought, right? As a young person. And then when that didn't happen and I changed my major to communications because I just had to finish and get a degree.
Mm-hmm.
When I graduated, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I didn't come out of college with this is the profession I want to be. I want to be an eye doctor. I want to be a dentist, or I want to be a lawyer. Like, I never got that.
Yeah.
I kind of took jobs, and then through those jobs got paid certain things that were enough money to feel like I was successful. So to be completely fair, my early career was really just about, what am I getting paid?
Yeah.
And if it was enough money to make me feel safe and secure and solid, that's what I was going to do. But it wasn't about like chasing something I really wanted to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think that's our generation. That's what, we knew and what we did, because this is what our parents did. But they come up from a different generation, right? You can work at a company for years and years and years and be okay, not worry about getting laid off. Maybe that happened a little bit in maybe like the 2000s, 2010s, a little bit. But for us, we're entering in a different world, right? Us particularly when we graduated from college was the Great Recession. There weren't a whole lot of jobs out there when we graduated.
Yeah, so we graduated in
2010. Yeah.
I didn't even realize like bad things were happening at that point. Were they? What was going on?
It was the housing crisis. So essentially, the whole housing market collapsed. A massive amount of foreclosures happened, and then the economy went down with it. It was a massive recession. Not a whole lot of jobs. It was a terrible job market. And it's interestingly enough, that's where my career kind of took place, because I'm in that world, in that sort of default world.
But
But
do you
yeah,
think that's why you ended up with that job? Because it was sort of like that was the opportunity that arose and you had a business degree, but it
mhm.
wasn't necessarily like you went to college with the intention to get a degree and then go and get that job, right?
No, no, no. I went to college and I got a degree in business, right? To do business things. I don't know what the hell that meant. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Looking back, I should have done something more, like accounting or finance or something like that, something more specialized. But yeah, I didn't. I was playing soccer. I was like,
Yeah.
I got good grades and did well in class and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really know what I was going to do.
Right.
I didn't really know what business even was. Like, what am
Was,
I even
yeah.
doing?
Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like the model that I think we both had from our dads was you get an education, you go get a good job, right? Which good means benefits, 401k, good salary,
Mhm.
paid time off, right? Like that's what you do.
Yep.
And by those standards, we was rocking
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Like we bought our first home before we even got married.
Hmm.
And then we sold that home and bought the home we're in now, which is a home we would not be able to afford now,
Yeah, just with the market the way it is. Uh huh.
but like did things good, right? We got our house in a city where we knew we wanted to raise our daughter before we had our daughter. Like everything about our life up until having our daughter was incredibly meticulously planned.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I think God kind of needed to get us to realize how to maybe have to go through struggle to be able to really find your purpose.
Yeah.
Because we would not be sitting in these chairs feeling the way we're feeling, doing the things we're trying to do right now if that trajectory had continued.
Yeah.
Like I was making good money, he was making good money. We thought we had it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We went to explore daycares of where she was going to go after she was born. I was planning to go back to work. I was in marketing and I thought at that point, I'm going to end up being an executive. By the time I'm 40, right, I'm going to be an executive or a CMO or, this kind of thing at this big company. I thought I was going to have my daughter and become a mom and do all the things. And it was all just going to be in a day's work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Little did I know
Mm-hmm.
that was not at all what was planned for us.
Yeah. No. And it's funny because, life takes you in different places and God has different plans for you, And yeah, we are on a certain path. And if we had stayed on that path, who knows where we'd be now. But we wouldn't have what we have now.
Right. And I do now believe that just wasn't our path.
Yeah. No.
And so when I ask you a question of, do you think we're not where we should be? I have to then remember that I'm exactly where I should be because obviously that's where God has placed me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's hard. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to not compare financially, especially like financially, it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard for a lot of you guys. Like groceries are through the roof,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Eating out is just so incredibly expensive.
Right.
Like we just go up to like the local neighborhood eatery. It's like 3 of us. It's $75-$100. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
What do we just order?
Right. So like financially, it can be difficult to not take that more predictable path because there is so much security. Well, there was a lot of security in corporate America. So, after I had Julia, I did go back to work. I was committed to making that work. And it was a great company, like great pay and work from home and all these great benefits and all this great stuff. And then I remember at one point, I was in a really big, important meeting and I was having a lot of anxiety. And I don't know why this thought came to my mind, but I looked at my VP, who wonderful woman, like smart woman, great person, but I didn't want to be her.
You saw her life and was like, that's great for her.
Yeah.
That might not be me.
And it was the first time I'd ever had that feeling. And then it was like, well, wait a minute, what are you doing then? Because you're in the process of working your butt off to climb this corporate ladder, but you can see where the ladder is going to take you and you don't want to end up there. So what are we doing? And everything turned on its head
Mm-hmm.
after that light bulb clicked for me.
Yeah. I think that's a great way of thinking about you and your career path and your trajectory, just generally speaking. If you are looking at people 2, 3 levels above you and you think, okay, I want to be there someday, look at what they're doing. Look at what their family life is like. Look at all these different types of things.
Right.
And
But
then see, okay, is that what I want in 10 years?
right. But I had to be brutally honest with myself that the reason I wanted it was because I wanted the salary.
Yeah.
I wanted
Right.
the money that came with that.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that kind of work. I didn't want to have that kind of work-life balance. I didn't want to have all the things. So I had to get this idea out of my mind that I could just get paid that kind of money and not have to address all the other things that came with it.
Yeah.
Like that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I faced myself in the mirror of like, why is money such a big part of my identity and all the other things, right? Which that's another episode maybe for a different time. But it led me down this path of like, I want to figure out how to live my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to work for the weekends. I don't want to stack PTO and then, that be when I'm living. It was the start of me realizing I needed to work for myself or someone that I knew really, really well in a small environment. Corporate, big America was not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember when you made that decision, it was just like, I can't do this. This isn't for me. And it was another one of those points in, our life where we say, okay, let's figure it out and see what we have to do.
Yeah. And it wasn't
it's not easy, right?
Yeah.
There's conversations around. I'm not like, oh yes, babe, fantastic, let's do it. It's more like, all right, well, let's think about this. We go through it. Does this make sense? Does it not make sense? Can we make it work?
Yeah.
Financially?
I had gotten to a point where I was like, I can't do another day. Like if I just can't do it. I was very comfortable. And I remember saying to you, if we have to move and we have to downsize and all these things, like, then that's what we're going to have to do because I'm miserable.
Yeah.
And I can't do this anymore. Like, this is just not for me.
Yep. Yeah.
And so I've been on a really big spiritual journey for the last few years, after this decision was made to try to figure out, like, what am I going to do? Who am I? Right? If this idea that my parents sold to me about college and then a career and then climb the ladder and all the things, if I've now come to this realization that really is not for me, now I have to start over. And I remember there were times I was really scared. I remember looking in the mirror and thinking, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, am I making the biggest mistake of my life? Like, am I throwing away my talents? And then I had to just quiet that fear and go back to this idea of like, I can't panic. I just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, trying to figure this all out.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing about sort of the path that we were on too is we did go to college, right? We have that degree. We have something to fall back on if other things don't work out. Right. And, we're on this journey and at this point where we're sort of starting these side hustles and trying to see if it sticks, if it works. Yeah. And I think, like we said, worst case, we have a podcast that our daughter can listen to and look at our thoughts as a little time capsule in time.
Well, okay, so let's take a step back. So after this decision was made, you had already been big into entrepreneurship. You had been saying for years and years and years, like, I want us to do our own thing. I want us to be our own boss. Like, that's the ultimate goal. Obviously, you're still not there, right? You have a corporate job and it's wonderful and a great company. But our long-term goal is to be able to be our own bosses and to have businesses that we can manage that fully support our lifestyle and that are things we really want to do.
Yeah.
And so, I remember us starting to have these conversations, and then obviously everything that's going on with AI started to happen. And it was like, once you open the universe, once you kind of manifest, right? I know a lot of people say that's woo-woo, but I don't. Once we kind of manifested that this is something we really wanted to do, it kind of felt like the universe just started giving us more and more signs that kept us feeling like, oh, okay, maybe this direction, maybe that direction. So I remember the AI conversation started coming up a lot.
Yeah.
where it was like, we already had this idea. We wanted to be entrepreneurs, but we were still like, oh, are we making the right choice? And then it's like, oh, well, 60% of jobs like won't even exist in the next 10 years and these kinds of things. And so it started to become and feel a lot more like necessary.
Yeah. To sort of take something on and try your own thing. Because I feel like we're in this small window where it's like, you have all these tools that are available to you. ChatGPT, Claude, everything at your fingertips to vibe code and do all these different types of things. And, maybe that's available for 5 years. And then after that, it's like it can do everything anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It's like, all right, let's take this small chunk of time and at least try to go out there, do a podcast. I vibe coded an app called Period to just see what happens, right? Put some time into it, at night, on the weekends, try to figure out, okay, can I make this work? Does this make sense?
Yeah,
Do
so
people
talk more
want
about your
this?
app, because I think that's a really interesting use case, right? Like, you are not an app developer by any
No.
means. You came to me and you said, hey, I have this idea of something that I want to build that I'm really passionate about. And then you actually did it.
Yeah, I was watching a podcast and I saw a woman on there was talking to the host about how you need to know and understand the menstrual cycles of the women in your life, your wife, your daughter, because when you know that, you understand them better and you know how to show up better for them throughout the month. It's not just 1 week a month where a woman has her period. It's 4 different phases, and all those phases come with different hormone shifts and progesterone shifts. And you can now know, okay, in these different phases, this is how I can show up better. So after the podcast, I was like, okay, I just took up my phone, you told me when your last period was. I jotted that down, had, ChatGPT go in and tell me when the next phase was going to be. And it was on my phone, on my notes app.
Right.
I'm like, all right, then I had to go in every month and update everything. It's a pain. So then I hopped on one of the vibe coding sites and I was like, surely I can just pop this in here and, like 5 prompts. I had like a workable app and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then, I was like, all right, maybe this is more of a idea and that's when I came to you. I was like, hey, I think this could be something. And you're like, hey, I mean, might as well try it.
Yeah. And it's really cool because I guess this is what we're trying to say. Like, the app, we've done videos for it. One video has gone pretty viral. It's got almost 1 million views.
Mm-hmm.
Have we sold many subscriptions? No. But that's not the point. Like, the point, I think, is that eventually we will.
Right. Yep. And it is learning. It's like, no, okay, well, the front of the funnel right now isn't great because of this, because of that. All right, now we need to tweak things and figure out what works and what doesn't. Do I want to pay a developer that much money, even though the app isn't making any money, right? It's flexing all these muscles, all these entrepreneurial muscles that we haven't flexed before, haven't flexed in a while, and trying to figure out where we go from there.
But I remember you saying to me, and it clicked, it was like, you said something like, most people don't act on their ideas simply because they just doubt themselves. Versus saying, why not me?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the saying too, ideas are a dime a dozen. It's the execution of those ideas that sets people apart, right? Everybody says, oh, I had that idea for that widget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that kitchen gadget that made $1 million. Oh, of course I thought of that.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe you did, but you didn't execute on it. Right.
And so now, we have this podcast. That's another one of our projects. I'm also building, our social media presence, and I still do marketing consultancy and all these other things. But the other day I did a TikTok video about Cat's Eye. It's a K-pop girl group band that my daughter absolutely adores. And I had a hot take about it. And I was speaking my truth and what I felt about the topic. And it has over almost 20,000 views and hundreds of comments and reshares. And it was so cool because it wasn't like I was saying something uniquely profound or I've come up with the next EMC squared, right? Like, I just was talking about what I think. And I think that's the big key here, is that coming into my late 30s and after my mom passed away, I'm realizing that being exactly who we are is enough.
Yeah.
And using these tools and platforms that exist now to do something with our ideas and to connect with people in community and to have conversations, that is my unique
Mm-hmm.
purpose and gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the most creative I've ever felt. I'm writing again. Like, I've always wanted to be a writer. That was something everyone used to always tell me, your life, you should write a book. And I'm like, I will. Like, it just feels good to not be sitting around in fear all the time, wondering if I'm doing enough or I should be where I'm at or these kinds of things. It feels like we're finally taking steps towards that.
Yeah, it does. And it's literally just putting yourself out there and do like I get in front of the camera and do stuff for the app, and it's like me talking. I'm terrible,
No, you're
right?
not.
I'm getting better, but it's like you got to put yourself out there and be comfortable with not being great, because everybody sucks the first time they do something.
Right.
It's repetition and doing it over and over again. And when you put yourself out there, especially like you did, you have all these comments and all these views on this, video that you were just sharing your thoughts on something. And those are those little green lights, those little green flags that are like, okay, this is cool. I'm putting myself out there. And these are, this is showing me that this can probably work.
And the other thing I'm really proud of us for is obviously we're parents, right? And we have a little girl looking up to us and seeing what we're doing. And it doesn't really matter how many times you tell your kids to be brave or tell your kids to be nice, right? They learn most by seeing from their parents.
Yeah.
How their parents act. And so she is seeing us actively do something, to your point, that's out of our comfort zone, and talking about topics that maybe are not super comfortable. But that's what we want to bring, is a comfort to having these conversations, a comfort to trying something you've never done before. And like, we all feel that, right? When you watch a video of somebody doing something they've never done and then they try it and it's great, or even if it's not great, it's just, anyway, that idea I think is cool. And at the end of the day, I would rather us do these things and maybe it not go the way we thought it was going to go, like financially or these other things, versus stay stuck doing something super safe and not have tried.
Absolutely. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I forgot who said that. Maybe Michael Jordan?
We're just living in God's plan anyway.
Wayne Gretzky, I think it was, actually. But yes, we are living God's plan. And yeah, you make plans and God laughs. Doopy doopy doo 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 doo. I've been dreaming.
Do you think it's easy for me to concentrate when you're doing that?
White Christmas.
I guess we'll wrap this with turning 38 in 2 days. I'm actually feeling good about it.
Heck yeah. I'm feeling good about it too. I'm feeling good for you. 38 looks good on you.
Thank you. And there's a clip from Gary Vee recently where he's like, you're 38, you're a baby. You still have so many things you can do. Like, there's so much ahead of you. Like, stop freaking out. So I'm going to lean into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean into, why worry about if I'm not where I should be at 38, and instead think about all the things I still have left to do.
100%. There's a little chart. I think I've told you about this before. Maybe you can put it right here if you can edit it in. But it shows you all the paths that you could have taken, and then a line where you are now, and then the path that you can take, everything that's available to you now. It's a really good visual for looking at what you're saying in a visual format.
Yeah. We have no idea what the future holds.
None at all.
But we want to be intentional with how we spend our time and make sure that at the end of all this life, we can look at each other and say, I like how that went.
I think if we continue to do what we are doing, explore, take risks, and love each other along the way, then that's where we'll be.
I like it. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, babe. Love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
I've been dreaming of the